In this session, we are going to work on problems, homework exercises 24, 25, and 26 from section 12.2, measures of central tendency. Let's look at problem number 24. The weights to the nearest 5 pounds of 36 randomly selected male college students are organized in a histogram. Use the graph to find the modal weight. Now, as you remember, the modal weight, or the mode, is the one that occurs most frequent, okay, the one that occurs most often. Now, the weights are on the horizontal here. Notice the frequencies are represented by the bars, so you can simply look at the one that has the highest bar, which would represent the highest frequency because the bar goes up the highest. So notice right here, for 165 pounds, the bar goes up to 8, which is indeed the highest frequency. Since 165 occurs the most often, then that would be the mode. Now notice, when you put in the modal weight, you put the number of pounds. So the number of pounds is 165. The frequency is 8, but the correct answer is 165. Okay? So again, you simply look at the one with the highest bar because that represents the highest frequency, which means that it, of course, is the mode. Let's look at problem number 25. You have find the grade point average, assume that the grade point values are 4 for an A, 3 for a B, and so on. Now, what we have here is the grades are right here and the credit hours are here. Now, since the credit hours are not the same, this is weighted. They're weighted by how much credit hours. So what you have to do is you have to put the weights in L2, which corresponds to what we've been doing in terms of the frequencies. So you can kind of say that the B is occurs, in this case, 5 times. The B in this case occurs twice, or just the weight, the number of credit hours. So using the calculator, we have L1 and L2. We have the B's. All right, again, now the B's have our values of B's are 3s. So we have 3 3s for the 3 B's. The C would be a value of 2, and then the corresponding credit hours would be 5, 2, 2, and 4, which would go in L2 in our calculator. Now remember that actually the grade point average is the mean, and on the calculator the mean is the X bar, which is the first one printed out under one variable stats after you put in the different values in L1, L2, one variable stats, L1, L2, then you can do stats calculations, one variable stats, you can do L1, L2. So again, first of all, we have to put in the values. So we'll go to the stat key, and we need to edit. To put in values, we hit edit, so we hit enter. And again, we can clear out L2 and L1 by highlighting L1, hitting clear, and hitting enter. Now we're ready to put in the values of the grades in L1. First is a B, which is worth 3. Second is a B. Third is a B. And the C is worth 2. The credit hours go in L2, so it's 5, 2, 2, and 4. Okay, so now we have our values in terms of the grades, numbers, and then the credit hours in L2. So now we go back to the stat key, but now we go over to use the right arrow key to highlight calculations. We always do one variable stats. On this 84 or an 83, you're going to put in L1, comma L2. Remember, if you have a newer version of the 84, you're going to get, after one variable stats list, you're going to put in L1 by second number 1, and then the frequency list will be the weights, in this case, if you got them in L2, and then you'll go to calculate and hit enter, and you'll get the same value that I get, okay? So go ahead and do that. All right, I've got my L1, L2, so I'm going to hit enter. And the X bar is the mean, the first number there, which you can see is 2.692, so on. To the nearest hundredth is 2 decimals. So the second decimal is the 9. The third decimal is a 2, so we're going to round down since it's 4 or less. So to the nearest hundredth, the grade point average is 2.69. Let's look at number 26. What is the median and how is it obtained? Let's read through these. A, the median of a data set is the data item in the middle of the ordered set. To find the median, first arrange the data set items in order from the smallest to largest. If the number of data items is odd, the median is the data item directly in the middle. If the number of data items is even, the median is the mean of the 2 middle data items. Actually, that answer is correct. Okay, so we'll go ahead and check. And again, B, the median of the data is the sum of the data items divided by the number of data. That's the mean, so that's wrong. Again, D is the same thing. The median of the data set is the sum of data items divided by the number of data items. That's wrong because that's the mean. And C is wrong because it says if the number of data items is even, the median does not exist. But it's the middle. It's the mean of the middle two. Now remember that you can do the median on the calculator. Once you put in data, like if we use the data from the previous problem, you go to calculations, you do one variable stats, L1, comma, L2, comma, L2, and then you hit enter, and then you just scroll down. And again, the MED, scroll down about 3 places, MED stands for median. So from our last problem, the median is 3. Again, if you have a newer version of a TI-83 or a newer version of the TI-84, you would just put in the list is L1, and then if you have frequencies or if we have weights, frequency list L2, and then you would just go to calculate and hit enter, and you'll get your answer. And again, it's the median, MED. You scroll down 3 and you get it. All right, this concludes this session, solving problems 24, 25, and 26 from 12.2. If you have any questions, email me at tswers@hodges.edu. TSWIERSZ is the spelling, or call me at my office, 239-938-7805. Thank you.